Hi, welcome back to Making It with Minglet. Today, I've got my cheerleader, Red Rosie, here, and she's been watching me work on some things. I had gotten this in the mail. It was actually a waterfall type booklet from, I think, my insurance company wanting me to do teledoc visits or something like that. But this is not an endorsement for them. But I took some of the scrap envelopes and gel prints that I've been doing, and I just put them on the pages. I've used some of my stickers. That was from Jody from Trashy Treasures, a little package I got from her. And these are just scraps, basically. Now, I'm going to make a little bit of these. I also, what I'm going to do is what I've watched some people do on other channels, and that is to kind of tame these prints a little bit. And I'm going to do that by, first off, let's move Rosie. Rosie, you need to take higher ground. There will be paint involved. So we're going to move her up so she doesn't get damaged. And I've got my 5x7 gel plate out here, and I'm just going to put some, as soon as I can get it open, I've just got some multi-surface satin here in the color Vintage White. And my hands are acting a fool today, so there you have it. Okay. Where I have these jointed, where there are joints in the colors, I'm going to just take my finger and I am going to just kind of mute that out a little bit. Will it work every time? I don't know. I've seen other people do it. And so the answer to that question would be, I really don't know. But I thought, hey, if other people can do that, maybe I can do that. And I thought this was probably a good place to try it. Now there is a few places where the writing's showing through on that sticker, so let's just let's get this spread out a little bit. Maybe we can do all of one side at a time. Maybe. We're not giving promises or guarantees here. When I think about using your fingers to paint, I think of finger paint, not just any kind of paint. But there are lots of people that use their fingers to blend colors out and do it very successfully. So I thought, well, let me try that and see how that works. And if you see something that might be a little bit dark and you want to lighten it down, you can do that too. And we're gonna prove that in theory. Maybe you have a transition spot where you missed a little bit of paint, which I did have there. And this is going to be quick drying because this is just plain old acrylic paint. So that is positive. You can see that we don't need to know that we paid $300 for medicine. That's awful. That should never happen to anybody, to have to go pick up a 2-day dose of medicine that's $300. But you do what you got to do when you're in pain. So there you have it. And that was with insurance. Just think what it might have been without. Should I use more than one finger? You know I'm going to. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. It's probably a good idea if you're going to do this that you already have a method of cleaning your finger before you start, instead of it being an afterthought. Okay, so note to self: next time have your baby wipe ready. Don't start playing and then think, oh, push, I should have got a baby wipe. I mean, if you were going to wipe a baby's butt, you wouldn't wait until you already had the diaper off, would you? Nope. Nope. I would have been prepared. So I've got to think of my art in the same way. Got to make sure I got my right tools, and I knew I'd have my tool that I was wanting to use today. I knew it. Because I can't leave my finger behind. Not intentionally anyway. Might be accidentally, but not intentionally. Now this may be a little bit too much, and if I figured that out, if I decide that it's too much, I've knocked it back way too much, then I still have plenty of things that I can do. I can come in with prints. I could even lay it on the gel plate if I wanted to. But I thought I would give this a try, and I do like the way it's working. It's going to soften the edges up too, which is good, I think. Especially on some of them I don't mind them being drastic. Sorry, my phone's dinging. My children are on the road. They left North Carolina this morning just a little after 5, and they are on their way to Florida. My oldest daughter has clinicals this week, so she'll be at a hospital in Florida for 1 week, expanding knowledge, and in less than a year away, she will be a graduate, so we're getting excited about it. Already starting to think about, what kinds of jobs she might want to do when she gets out. But this is a hospital rotation, and this will be the first hospital rotation she's done. So we're kind of looking forward to hearing how it's going for her. And her sister, her only sister, has gone with her. She took vacation so she wouldn't have to drive down there by herself and back. She took her vacation, and she'll be staying and she's real close to the beach, so that's not a deal killer for her. But it's gonna work out all right. I think they're gonna have a good time, even though Martine will be real busy studying. I think they'll both have a nice time together. They love each other, and they are good company to each other. So Zoe's got the meals planned for the week, and she's going to cook while the others go to class. There's one other girl going to stay with them, young lady I should say. And they took Luna, the dog, the spoiled dog. So it's going to be fun. But they check in with their different stops. They'll check in and let us know where they're at, because they have iPhones but we don't, so they can't share their location with us because our phones are stupid. No, it's not that. It's that our phones aren't compatible. We got smartphones. They might not be as smart as an iPhone, but they work good for us, and we're okay with that. Now, I could, other than doing this with my fingers, I could roll it on if I wanted to. But I think this is giving a pretty nice effect. And I did grab that. I had got my nails painted this morning. It's Saturday. I thought I'd do something nice for myself. I mean, we're empty nesters this weekend, so for a whole week. I think that's going to be fun. Don't know that anything exceptional will happen, but who knows? Who knows? I don't. Okay. I'm liking it. Hit that right there one more time, I think. Now it got real dark and the other stuff is kind of light, so let me try to blend that a little bit. Alright, now I'm thinking this was looking pretty good here. There's the front part. And then we're going to come inside and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let me glue that down. Good grief. I think I'll glue it down. What did I do? What did I do with my glue? I just had it up here because I flipped through it trying to make sure that I didn't have anything that needed to be glued down before I started painting, but I still missed something. Don't you hate it when that happens? I do. Okay. Now on this part, I'm going to do it a little bit different. Now y'all Rosie's going to keep my glue, so we won't have to worry about that. Hopefully we'll be able to find it. I'm going to grab it looks like this might be a old cosmetic brush. It's short and stubby, but it might work really well if you don't want to finger paint. You see this shows the drug company name. I don't want that on there. So let's try using this little soft brush and let's mark out the things that we don't want. I don't mind barcodes. It's not like anybody's going to look them up anyway. Trying to stay in focus for you. One day I'm going to have enough room that I can put my computer up so I can not have to look back for it. And I'm trying to make this look like it's all cohesive in some way. And this brush is doing very well with this kind of, trying to blend the colors. And I'm going to go all the way down this line right here because I want to blend it out. Any kind of brush that maybe, you may have a brush that's worn out. That's the kind of brush that I think will work well for this if you do not have, one that's naturally stubby. And don't discount your makeup brushes. When they're too worn out, to apply makeup, don't throw them out. Make them, your new workhorse in your craft room. That way you're buying new brushes for one thing, but that doesn't mean they are not good for another. Because, we like saving money. And it may not be that you may be frugal because you have to be, or you may be frugal because you want to be. It all depends on, your situation, and only you know whether you can afford to buy expensive stuff or not. It's fun to have nice things to play with, but sometimes you have to be practical too, and that's kind of where I come from. I grew up, if we didn't have the money for stuff, unless it was a necessity, it wasn't purchased. So I think it's easy to think you have to have everything, and that's not always the case. I do like to make do with what I've got, except with certain items. There's some things that I will spend money on, but there are things that I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on. And with art supplies, I try to be frugal for the most part. I try to create with the things that I have because we are on a fixed income. We are retired, and if you're spending all your money at the drugstore and the grocery store, you don't have a lot of money left over. And a lot of people are finding themselves in that situation. I mean, we've got, kind of a budget that we try to go by, but, sometimes in this day and age, things just don't fit in the budget. So you have to decide, are you taking the trip or are you buying, the more expensive paint? Well, I'd like to do both. I'd like to have some expensive paint, but I definitely want to take vacations or, road trips as we call them. And this is supposed to be our year. Because we've been married for 40 years, this is our time this year. We're supposed to go and do the things we want to do. Within reason. And that's where it gets difficult to make those decisions. Airfare right now is horrendous. We've been watching airfares since the beginning of the year. And there's one trip that we know we were going to make. It's just a matter now of whether we're going to pay up to fly or we're going to just bite the bullet and say, okay, we're going to drive because it's so expensive and ridiculous. By the time we get to the airport and jump through all the hoops and do all the things that have to be done, we would be halfway there if we were driving. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, let's calm this down right here a little bit. Jody, I love the bright colors, but I'm going to mute them just a little bit. I still think they're very pretty. If you have not watched Jody, she's really good at teaching you how to make marks on papers, and she does a lot of different collage fodder. Some people don't like that word, but if you don't like that word, just close your ears. And that's okay with me, and I'm sure it'd be okay with her too. But yeah, definitely check her channel out. I will put a link in the description below. Okay, this was a package return sticker, and we didn't use it, so I just decided I was going to treat it like a sticker. And I used it on the contact paper backing that had already been used up, and it was on there with the stickers from the pharmacy. I found out that I can do the stickers individually, but it is a more time-consuming process. There's circles in there, so let me see if I can maybe do a play on those. Yeah, okay. So the brush is working well. And this is white, so let me put some of this off-white in there with it. so it's not so stark. Oh, we're making bold moves now. Now you could achieve the same thing with your pasta pins with these marks that I'm making now. You could definitely come back over and use those to add to these. Alright. This one is a page with almost all stickers. So there'll be a little bit of transitions on those. These were dark enough that you really can't read the writing. So we're just going to kind of soften the transitions. I'm laughing because there's a note on here that I was in the donut hole. If you're a Medicare patient, you know what I'm talking about. But there is no donut hole now. We're just all in floaties. They turned our donut hole into a life preserver. We're just going to pay all year long now instead of just paying at the end. Because we like spending money at the pharmacy. Somebody's going to get it. Can't take it with you. There you go. We'll give it just a few minutes because that's kind of thick right there. Do y'all do summer binging on Netflix? I've been binging on a Norwegian thing. It came up on Netflix. It had 6 seasons, and I have burned through it like crazy. It's rather funny. It's somebody that's a caseworker in child welfare services, so it's quite interesting. If you look, you'll probably figure out which one it is, but it's had me chuckling more than a few times. It's got some what we would consider in the States some inappropriate stuff in it, but it's I guess I'm adult enough to handle it. I think I am anyway. We'll just say I am, okay? Don't question me. I'm in charge here. This was some of the mark making that I did, and I actually had papers that got stuck together, so that messed that envelope up. But I kind of like the way they turned out. Thought they did pretty good. look like I picked up some print off of the plate. That was probably off some of my scraps that I was using. That does happen. You can transfer anything that's been printed on a piece of paper and sent to you. You can use it, but there is no guarantee that it's not going to transfer onto your plate. Because if you use the printed side, it can, and it will, and I have had that to happen. Look at me being a good mommy of my mat here. Okay. I don't want to cover up that blob of green because I like it. Swirl, swirl, swirl. That looks pretty good. That looks like it might need to be, I need to glue that down just a little bit. Or maybe I'll get lucky and the paint will do it. Maybe. We'll see. Time will tell. Time's a teacher. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Now I've only got a couple more pages left, but I think this one's going to need to dry a little bit. I'm kind of afraid to get these two. I don't want to get them too close together, so I will come back to you when I am finished with this. So I'm going to end the video here. If you enjoyed this, just remember that you can grab your mail out, and if it's something that you would throw away because you really don't need it, but it has interest, like this waterfall, then slap some paper on it and give it a go. There are no wrong answers on this. So until next time, my friends, be well. Bye-bye.